I secretly resigned from Tiffany's position. Marcus rushed over, clutching the cornea transplant age gotten for me, his knuckles white. It only lasts one more day. Where is she? 3 years ago, in the fire, Age cried and promised Age heal me, but now. The sharp sound of shattering glass exploded in my ears. He truly shattered my cornea. I stared at the fragments. The fortune, he exhaled in relief, turned to book a flight, mumbling, as long as Tiffany's okay. My adoptive brother called, and I scoffed into the receiver. William, I want them ruined by that money pit. I've got everything handled. Don't worry. My brother's voice was steady and strong. The next day, news arrived that a new cornea transplant had been successfully matched. This was William's doing. When we were young, our family was dirt poor. Yet my father took him in on a snowy night. He lived with us for over a decade. After my father passed away, he left to make his own way in a distant city, completely losing touch. It wasn't until recently that he suddenly contacted me. Gracie, I'll give you a home. My phone suddenly vibrated. I answered. It was a video call request from Marcus. Once connected, the chaotic background noise of the casino instantly flooded my ears. Grace, good thing you didn't lie to me. Marcus's tone was frivolous. Listen to how happy Tiffany is. This is real life. Your lousy eyes, if they're gone. They're gone. Don't ruin my mood. Then came Tiffany's affected voice. Grace, thank you. If you hadn't been so understanding, how would Marcus have come to join me so quickly? Oh, by the way, it's a shame you can't see. Marcus gave me such beautiful diamonds. In the background, I heard the casino dealer urging people to place bets. Stay home and don't call to bother me. Marcus said impatiently, You'd better spend that time thinking about how to get another cornea. The video call was hung up. He never once asked if I was okay. Just then, my phone vibrated again. It was my adoptive brother, William. Gracie, everything's arranged. New cornea surgery in 3 days. His voice was calm. I opened my mouth but couldn't speak. They went to the casino. William keenly noticed my distress. I mumbled a tearful hum, and tears welled up again. You just focus on preparing for the surgery. Your eyes are the most important thing. His tone suddenly turned cold. I waved my hand in front of my sightless eyes, remembering how I'd rushed into the fire without a thought for my own safety back then. Marcus and I started from scratch. I'd only gone to the restroom when the VIP suite at the club suddenly burst into flames. A firefighter grabbed my wrist, saying it was dangerous, telling me not to go in, but I was determined. He was dead drunk, completely unconscious, and I dragged him out. We finally escaped danger, but my world, from then on, was plunged into darkness. I believed his vows for 3 years, but he still made me give up my chance to regain sight, all for another woman. Everything I'd done back then became worthless in Marcus's eyes. A week later, the bandages were slowly removed. It was the first time in 3 years I'd seen light. My phone vibrated. It was also the first time that name filled me with such disgust. Grace, come to Los immediately. Tiffany's in trouble. She desperately needs money. Withdraw all the money from our home. His voice was hoarse. I remained silent, not telling him I could see. Hello? Did you hear me? His tone grew increasingly impatient. What does Tiffany's trouble have to do with me? I replied coldly. On the other end of the phone, Marcus sneered. Grace, don't be ungrateful. If you hadn't sent her away back then, would all this have happened? Tiffany lost a lot. If she doesn't pay it back soon, something terrible will happen. His anxiety was only for that woman. You have to take responsibility. He was aggressive, as if I owed him everything. Come and help, and I'll give you a surprise as compensation. His tone suddenly softened. Hearing this, I wanted to see what kind of scheme he was cooking up. Okay, I'll be right there. I agreed calmly. Upon arriving in Los, Marcus was waiting for me in the casino hotel lobby. A flicker of surprise crossed his eyes, followed by a fake smile. Gracie, you look different. He tried to take my hand, as if I were still blind. I subtly evaded him, and his face turned ashen. As the elevator ascended, he suddenly started showing feigned concern. How's your health lately? The suite door opened, revealing a pink birthday cake in the center, surrounded by rose petals. He led me into the room. Gracie, this is a belated birthday celebration for you. Do you like it? He said softly. You can't see, but the cake I prepared for you is your favorite pink. My birthday had been 3 months ago. He had never remembered it. The bedroom door opened, and Tiffany walked out in a revealing nightgown. Grace, see how much Marcus cares about you. He even remembered your birthday. She linked her arm through Marcus's. I smiled without speaking. Watching them act out this clumsy play, Marcus finally grew impatient. Gracie, Tiffany accidentally lost some money. Just transfer the money over. It's just a temporary cash flow issue. He spoke his lie so skillfully. Tiffany began to feign tears. It's all my fault for being so impulsive. Grace, you wouldn't just leave me to die, would you? Marcus has already worked so hard for your eyes, she added. I looked at them coldly. Not a penny of my money will go to you. Marcus's expression changed. His gentle facade ripped away. He lunged at me, his face twisted in a snarl, trying to snatch my phone and bag. Grace, you bitch. You're doing this the hard way. I violently threw them to the ground. He brutally pressed my thumbprint, transferring all my money away. You're useless, completely worthless with those blind eyes, he cursed. Tiffany chuckled as she took the phone. Thanks, Grace, I'll spend it well for you. I curled up on the floor, watching them leave with my hard-earned money. They lost again, not even having enough for the hotel. That night, back at the hotel, Marcus and Tiffany squeezed into my room. Just staying for a few days. We'll leave once we win some money, he explained with feigned sincerity. As night fell, they thought I was asleep. Muffled gasps and the unmistakable sounds of intimacy came from the living room. I tiptoed to the crack in the door. Tiffany was kneeling in front of Marcus. Be gentle, don't wake her up, Marcus said, grabbing Tiffany's hair. She can't see anyway. What's there to be afraid of? Tiffany's voice was seductive. Lower your voice. Grace can't see, but she can hear. Marcus's voice was hoarse. That night, I listened to their unrestrained gasps and didn't sleep a wink. In the morning, Marcus brought breakfast into the bedroom. Gracie, I specifically brought you the hotel's complimentary breakfast, he said gently. I feigned waking up and reached out for it. I slept very well last night. Didn't hear a thing, I said with a smile. He exhaled in relief. That's good. The milk tasted strangely bitter. Within 10 minutes, I felt a wave of dizziness, forcing myself to stay conscious. I pretended to fall into a deep sleep. She sleeps like a log. No guard at all. Marcus's voice sounded in my ear. Tiffany giggled in agreement. That drug worked pretty well. The room door opened, and the footsteps of a stranger entered. I'm a clean freak. I don't like disabled people. The man's voice was smarmy and grating. Marcus immediately defended me. Mr. Sterling. Though she can't see, her figure and looks are absolutely top-notch. And she's very clean, never been with any other man, Tiffany added. $5 million a week, you can consider it, Mr. Sterling said indifferently. So in their eyes, I was just a commodity to be bought and sold. Deal. Marcus agreed without hesitation. A bank card was shoved into Marcus's hand. The password is 6/8. There's a $1 million deposit in the card. The rest will be paid upon satisfaction, Mr. Sterling said. Tiffany let out a quiet, excited squeal. Marcus, agree to it. Marcus leaned down and whispered in my ear, Gracie, bear with it for a week, and I'll come pick you up. There was no remorse in his voice, just a command for me to accept reality. The sound of the door closing echoed, leaving only me and the stranger in the room. Little beauty, we're going to have a good week, the man chuckled pervertedly. His hand roamed freely over my body. What a stunner. Who cares if she can't see? Her body is so soft. His voice was filled with lust. I fought down the nausea and opened my eyes. If you touch me again, I'll report you for rape. I snapped. Mr. Sterling froze for a moment, then sneered. Little girl, your acting is good, but do you think I'm scared? He moved to lunge again, but I swiftly pulled out the dagger I'd prepared earlier from under the pillow. I can see. I stared at him. Mr. Sterling's eyes finally held a hint of fear. Did that despicable couple trick me? He was somewhat angry. Get out. I pointed the dagger at him. Mr. Sterling slowly backed away. You'll regret this. He slammed the door shut as he left. I weakly collapsed onto the bed. I dialed William's number. Brother, help me. I walked disheveled into the casino. I saw Tiffany standing at a gambling table, placing my hard-earned money in front of the dealer. Bet on big, she said confidently. Small. The dealer announced the result expressionlessly. Tiffany's face instantly turned ashen. Impossible. Watching her surrounded by casino staff, crying profusely, her face streaked with tears, I felt a morbid satisfaction. Ms. Tiffany, you owe $3 million. The casino manager's voice was cold and ruthless. Tiffany cried and begged. Give me one more chance. I can win it back. No more chances. The manager shook his head. You have two choices. He pointed to the transparent glass room in the center of the hall. Either pay now, or enter the performance room to repay your debt until someone is willing to bail you out. Inside, a naked woman was posing provocatively in the glass room. What happened in there was enough to make a woman wish for death. Tiffany knelt on the ground, looking at Marcus. Marcus stood beside her, also at a loss. Tiffany, don't worry, I'll figure something out. Suddenly, his gaze swept across the corner and landed on me. I saw surprise flash in his eyes, as if he wondered how it escaped from that man, but he didn't care. It was as if H found a lifeline. He rushed over and grabbed my arm. Grace, perfect. You came at just the right time. His voice trembled with excitement. Grace, hurry up. You go into that room for Tiffany, he ordered. I shook him off. Are you out of your mind? Just for a little while. I'll raise the money to get you out right away. There was no love in his eyes, only blatant exploitation. Marcus, are you even human? I looked in disbelief at this stranger standing before me. Tiffany can't go in there. She can't handle that kind of scene. He even said it so self-righteously. I gave a cold laugh, and I can handle it. His eyes turned fierce. Grace, you owe me this. Don't forget who took care of you for so many years. You can see now? He changed the subject. That's right, Marcus. You can't control me anymore. I stared intently at him. He began to forcibly drag me, trying to push me towards the expressionless casino thugs. Tiffany can't be harmed. Grace, you owe me this. Marcus's voice grew more furious. The casino thugs reached out to me. I closed my eyes. Suddenly, a voice full of menace rang out in the casino. Who dares to touch her? The entire casino instantly fell silent. I opened my eyes in astonishment and saw William walking in with a group of black-suited bodyguards. Boss, the casino manager's face was filled with terror. William's gaze swept over Marcus, ignoring him, then his eyes landed on me, and he said gently, Gracie, don't be afraid, I'm here. The hand you just used to touch my sister, you won't need it anymore, he told the casino manager. The manager trembled with fear. William gently brushed away the tear streaks on my face. He turned to Marcus and Tiffany. Are you Marcus? Marcus finally realized the gravity of the situation. He started backing away. Bro, we didn't know she was your sister. I'm her husband. William gave a cold laugh. Now you know, but it's too late. He waved his hand, and the bodyguards behind him immediately surrounded Marcus and Tiffany. Send them into the performance room. 1 month. William declared their fate. The divorce settlement lay on the table. Sign it, and all this will be over. William gently patted my shoulder. Since that casino incident, Marcus and Tiffany had stayed in the performance room for a full week. His parents almost sold all their family assets to bail them out. Under's protection, I could finally breathe the air of freedom. I didn't hesitate for a moment to get a divorce. Grace, let's talk. Marcus stood below the casino hotel. A security guard wanted to stop him, but I waved him off. What's there to talk about? My lawyer will contact you. I brushed past him. He reached out and grabbed my arm. I know I was wrong. It was all Tiffany who led me astray. Let go. William appeared behind me without a sound. Marcus panicked and released me. But he still stared desperately at my brother. Mr. William, we're family. Don't air our dirty laundry in public. Family? William sneered. Who gave you that confidence? Mr. William, I can do a lot for the company, if you can just persuade Grace to change her mind. William didn't even look at him. Get out of the company's sight or else what? Marcus's face drained of color. The performance room was just the beginning. William turned and walked away. I didn't expect Marcus to be so shameless. The next day, he was still blocking the building entrance downstairs. Grace, do you remember when we first got married? His face was full of deep affection. Back then, we had nothing. And I worked tirelessly to support our family, worked tirelessly. I scoffed. You couldn't see. I didn't tell you the truth to protect you. Protect me by giving all the money to you and Tiffany? He suddenly knelt. I know I was wrong. I'm a victim too. Marcus, have you acted enough? I'm not acting. I'm truly remorseful. He spoke, tears streaming down his face. Look, I've lost weight. My divorce lawyer emerged from the elevator. Mr. Zhu has been spreading false statements about you. We can sue him for defamation. Marcus's face instantly changed. Grace, don't listen to him. I didn't say anything bad about you. Stay away from me. Next time, I'll sue directly. I walked into the elevator without looking back. I thought he would back down, but 3 days later, he appeared again. Grace, we're husband and wife. He grabbed my wrist. Let go. I struggled with disgust. You can't do this to me. I've sacrificed so much for this family. I felt utterly ashamed. His tone was urgent. I can start over. Be a good husband. Never. His eyes gradually turned cold. Don't force me. What are you going to do? I instinctively stepped back. I can post our intimate photos online and let everyone know what kind of woman you are. You wouldn't dare. I gritted my teeth. I dare do anything. Unless you come back to me, he smiled smugly. Grace, I love you. I can't live without you. William's car pulled up beside me. He got out, followed by 4 bodyguards. Last warning. William handed Marcus a document. Sign the divorce settlement, or go to prison. What? Marcus opened the document, his face ashen. It was evidence of his embezzlement of my money. Enough to land him in jail for 10 years. You can't do this. Marcus's voice trembled. 5 seconds, William said. Checking his watch, Marcus trembling signed his name and pressed his handprint on the guarantee. Never appear in Grace's sight again, William said coldly, then took me into the car and drove away. A week later, the divorce decree finally arrived. Marcus had left Los, disappearing from my world. I received a text message from an unknown number. Grace, Tiffany is pregnant. It's my child. We've moved to Los and won't bother you anymore. Wishing you happiness. After the divorce, I dedicated myself to working at the company. My brother gave me a departmental management position. Not too high, not too low. Just enough to prove myself. Look at this quarter's data. It's increased by 15% compared to last quarter. I handed the report to William. He took it, his fingertips brushing against the back of my hand inadvertently. I looked up, meeting his gaze. You did very well, Gracie, he smiled. This kind of gaze became more and more frequent, filling my heart with an inexplicable confusion. His attention to my details far exceeded the boundaries of siblings. My office would always have my favorite green plants, and the coffee on my desk was always at the perfect temperature for my taste. When my car broke down, he immediately arranged for a new one. If I worked late into the night, he would always appear downstairs at the company to drive me home. I can take care of myself, I said, somewhat helplessly, I know, but I want to take care of you. His gaze was so earnest it made my heart race. Every time I thought about these things, I secretly dismissed my own wild imaginings. He was my brother, the brother I grew up with. One particularly late night working overtime, my phone vibrated. It was William. Come down, I'll take you home. His car was parked in the most conspicuous spot. When we arrived downstairs at my home, he turned off the engine. Is something wrong? I unbuckled my seatbelt, ready to get out. Gracie, there's something I want to tell you. His voice was low. I instantly understood the conjectures I hadn't dared to confirm. I've liked you since I was very young. Not as a sister. I know this is sudden, but I can't hide it anymore. My mind went blank. We're siblings. We're not related by blood. You know that, he said softly. I need time. I fumbled to push open the car door. I'll wait for you. No matter how long it takes. He didn't follow me. The next day, I called in sick, afraid to face him. After that, I deliberately scheduled meetings to avoid being alone with him, but company was filled with his presence. I had nowhere to escape. What was worse, I found myself starting to care about his every move. Gracie, this project requires us to travel for an on-site inspection, he announced at the weekly team meeting. Everyone thought it was perfectly natural, but only I knew the unspoken reason. During the 3 days of the inspection, he didn't cross any lines. On the last night, on the hotel rooftop terrace, he told me, I don't want to pressure you, but my feelings won't change. How many years had he loved me? From that bullied little girl to the independent, confident professional woman I was now, when I divorced. He stood behind me, giving me courage and support. After leaving Marcus, I thought I'd never fall for anyone again. But facing this man who had loved me for so many years, my heart began to wander uncontrollably. Give me some time, okay? I asked softly, on the flight back. His arm brushed mine, and I didn't pull away. I decided to give William a chance, slowly trying to accept his concern that was different from a sibling's. There had been enough days of avoiding him. I began to imagine that maybe, in the future, I really could be with him. Until reappeared in my life, he stood outside the company building. Looking haggard. Grace, Tiffany's child isn't mine. She cuckolded me. I regret it. I truly regret it. Give me one chance, please. His tears were worthless, just like how he looked when he was pursuing me back then. For a moment, my heart wavered. The next day, a bouquet of roses appeared on my office desk, with familiar handwriting on the card. A week later, the company receptionist told me someone had sent a homemade lunch. Marcus had learned to make my favorite homemade lasagna, perfectly replicating even the spice ratios. He began to imitate everything about William, even the type of flowers he sent. "Grace, I've changed. I've truly changed," he cried hoarsely on the phone. I hung up and found William standing at the office door, his eyes complex. "Do you still love him?" he asked softly. I shook my head no. He makes me feel disgusted. Marcus's insane actions grew more and more intense. He played guitar outside my building and sent me long apology letters. "Aren't you disgusting? I finally couldn't take it anymore. You betrayed me, stole my money, and now you're pretending to be deeply affectionate." He knelt on the ground, saying Tiffany was just a mistake. "You know what, Grace? I've noticed your brother is acting weirdly towards you. You two can't be together." I raised my hand and slapped him. That night, William received a tip-off call. Someone claimed to have seen me leaving his office disheveled. Rumors started circulating in the company that I got my management position through special connections. Marcus feigned innocence. "It wasn't me. Why would I do something like that?" Then he immediately added, "Come back to me. I can protect you." On afternoon, Tiffany burst into the company lobby. "Grace, you!" she shrieked, charging at me. "Marcus is completely cutting ties with me because of you. He's even abandoning our child, saying I tricked him." Security guards stopped her, but she struggled like a mad woman. "You ruined my love. I want you dead." Her eyes were filled with hatred, but I only found it absurd. Marcus arrived. "Shut up," he roared. Tiffany froze, her face filled with disbelief. "Marcus, you said you'd love me forever." Slap! The crisp sound of a slap echoed in the lobby. Marcus looked at Tiffany, who was clutching her face and sobbing, expressionlessly. "Get out. You don't deserve to be in front of Grace." "What about my child?" Tiffany cried. "You don't even know whose child it is," he sneered. This was his so-called true love. "Grace, did you see what I did for you?" He actually expected my praise. Just as I was about to speak, William stepped in front of me. He had no expression. "One more step closer, and it'll make you to regret being alive." Tiffany tried to say something else but was dragged away by security. "Gracie, it's okay now." William turned and gently embraced me. At that moment, I finally understood my choice. In just a month, our relationship became closer than ever before, but not in a sibling way. My phone suddenly received a text message from Marcus. "Don't get too close to William." The next day, I received a bouquet of black roses in my office. The card read, "Come back to me, or you'll regret it." It was Marcus's handwriting. When I told William about it, his eyes instantly turned ruthless. "I'll handle it. Don't worry." The threats didn't stop. Company colleagues received anonymous reports about my improper relationship with William. My social accounts were maliciously attacked, and intimate photos were almost leaked. "This is the last warning." Marcus sent a text message. "Either choose me, or I'll destroy everything." I didn't expect him to be so deranged. That evening, I went grocery shopping alone. In the parking lot, someone suddenly covered my mouth and nose from behind. When I woke up, I was tied to a bed, with my photos plastered all over the walls. Marcus sat by the bed, staring at me with a peculiar expression. "Finally, it's just the two of us, Grace." He reached out to touch my face, and I struggled to pull away. "Don't touch me, you lunatic." But he just laughed, as if he didn't understand my reaction. "I've done so much. Don't you understand yet?" He pointed to the photos on the wall. They were all candid shots of my daily life. "I've been waiting for this moment since the day you got divorced. William doesn't deserve to have you." His eyes grew more and more frenzied. He suddenly pulled out a small knife. "This is the surprise I prepared. Can we start over?" "Marcus, you're insane. We're impossible. Absolutely impossible." His smile froze on his face, instantly twisting into a grimace. "Impossible? I abandoned Tiffany for you. I gave up my child for you. Why don't you understand how much I love you?" I felt like I had never truly known him. "That's not love. That's your pathological possessiveness. Shut up." He suddenly shrieked. "I forbid you to say that." He grabbed a fruit knife and pressed it against my wrist. "If you don't agree to be with me, we'll die together." "Do you think that will make me love you?" "I'll only hate you more." He froze, clearly not expecting my reaction. Just then, there was a frantic knocking at the door. "Police, open up." Marcus panicked, and the knife tip pressed harder. "Don't move. Whoever comes in, I'll kill her." The door was kicked open, and William rushed in with the police. "Marcus, drop the knife." William's voice was calm. "Get out. She's mine." Marcus yelled hysterically. "Gracie, don't be afraid. Look at me." William's gaze met mine. Marcus saw our interaction and completely lost control. Die. He raised the knife and lunged at me in a flash. William lunged forward and wrestled with Marcus. The police quickly moved in and subdued Marcus. As he was being led away, he kept shouting, "Grace, I just love you too much." William untied my ropes and hugged me tightly. "I'm sorry. I came too late." I leaned on his shoulder, finally breaking down in tears. "It's okay. He can't hurt you anymore." After escaping Marcus's clutches, William's embrace became my only safe haven. "I'll never let him near you again." In his resolute eyes was the warmest promise of my life. From that day on, I never wanted to be apart from him for even a moment. A call from my lawyer shattered the brief peace. Marcus is extremely emotionally unstable in the detention facility and has repeatedly self-harmed. What does that have to do with me? I replied coldly, "He says it's to compensate you." I gave a cold laugh and hung up the phone. 3 days later, the lawyer called again. I reluctantly agreed to see him. Upon seeing me, Marcus, without warning, stabbed his own eyes with a sharp object. He stabbed and cried out, "Gracie, I'm giving you back your eyes." He was blind, just like I had been. That night, I stood alone on the balcony, staring blankly at the night sky. William hugged me from behind. "What are you thinking about? He's truly insane," I said softly. "Don't think about him." William kissed the top of my head. The next day, Marcus's mother found me. Her eyes were red and swollen from crying. "Marcus asked me to tell you that he's blinded himself to make up for the harm he's caused you." I looked at her coldly. "He's good at putting on a show. This extreme behavior is just another self-serving performance," I scoffed. "He's genuinely remorseful." She defended, "Remorseful?" I sneered. "Please, ask him to let go of me and himself. He's already destroyed his own eyes. How can you be so unmoved?" She became agitated. A surge of anger rose from within me. "Whether he's blind or not, what does it have to do with me? My eyes were restored by my brother, not him pretending to give them back after destroying them." I turned and left, not looking at her. When I got home, William was already waiting there. "Did that woman come looking for you?" he asked. I nodded, collapsing onto the sofa. "I'm really tired. I don't want to be held hostage by his crazy actions anymore." William sat beside me and pulled me into his embrace. "Don't worry. I've already applied for a restraining order. He and his family can no longer approach you." Leaning against his chest, I finally relaxed. "Brother, thank you for always protecting me. You know I don't just want to be your brother." His voice was gentle. A week later, news came from the hospital that Marcus was refusing treatment and his condition was worsening. "He says if you don't go see him, he won't live." The lawyer conveyed helplessly. I replied coldly, "That's his choice." William held my hand. "You don't need to feel guilty for him." Marcus was sentenced to 15 years in prison for kidnapping, intentional assault, and multiple other charges. The iron bars of the prison contained his madness. Tiffany also went insane, calling Marcus's name day after day in the psychiatric hospital. No one went to see her, just as no one cared about her existence, and I finally embraced a new life. "Gracie, I want to take you somewhere," he said mysteriously that day. I was blindfolded and got into his car. When the blindfold was removed, I stood in the middle of a field of tulips. "I planted these for you. Each one represents a day I've loved you." He knelt on one knee and took out a small, exquisite diamond ring. "From the naive secret crush of my youth to finding you again as an adult, I've waited for this day for too long. Grace, marry me and let me give you a home." I nodded emphatically, tears blurring my vision. "Yes, I'll marry you." The wedding took place on a bright, sunny day. There was no lavish display, just friends and family who sincerely wished us well. I wore a simple wedding gown, walking arm in arm with him towards the end of the aisle. I knew I had finally grasped true happiness. "Gracie, from now on, your world will be guarded by me, forever bright." He placed the ring on my finger, whispering his promise. Married life was peaceful and sweet. William fully supported my career, never interfering with my decisions. "Whatever you want to do, I'll stand behind you," he always said. A year later, the prison administration called. Marcus requested to see me one last time. "His eye wounds are infected. The doctor says he won't last a month." The voice on the other end said coldly. William noticed my distress and gently hugged me. "If you don't want to go, don't go. No one can force you." I closed my eyes and took a deep breath. "I want to go. I need to see that nightmare officially end with my own eyes. In the prison visitation room, Marcus was so gaunt he was almost barely recognizable, his eyes lifeless as he looked towards the direction of my voice. "Gracie, is that you?" he asked weakly. I didn't answer, just looked at him coldly. "I know you hate me, and I hate myself too," he coughed. "I don't hate you. I just don't care about you anymore," I calmly replied. He suddenly grew agitated, reaching out to grab my hand. A prison guard immediately stepped forward to stop him. "Gracie, I'm truly sorry. I ruined your eyes. I ruined your life." "No, you didn't." I offered a faint smile. "William restored my sight. And he's also the one who helped me rebuild my life. You didn't ruin anything. Because you were never important." 3 days later, Marcus breathed his last in the prison infirmary. I didn't attend his funeral. Instead, William and I went to the beach. Sunlight fell upon our clasped hands. "Gracie, are you okay?" he asked softly. I leaned my head on his shoulder, smiling as I nodded. "With you here, I'm more than okay."